Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad you're all here. Hopefully you got a bite to eat in the next room over. On behalf of the Wilton E. Scott Institute for Energy Innovation, I'd like to welcome you to CMU Energy Week 2023. I can't believe it's been nearly 4 years since we held an in-person Energy Week. I believe it's this Saturday marks 4-year anniversary of the last in-person Energy Week. So what a wild 4 years it's been. I'm so glad that you're all here. Oh my gosh, sorry about that. For those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Daniel Tachik, and I'm the Executive Director of CMU's Scott Institute for Energy Innovation. I know a lot of you in the room, but I don't know others. So if at some point during this week's event, during the breaks, in between sessions, come introduce yourself. I would love to meet you. So today is day 2 of Energy Week, and we have a lot of interesting presentations, panels tomorrow, and Friday as well. So tomorrow will be our Energy Investor Forum with startups pitching their energy tech ideas to a room full of investors. So I like to think of it as like Shark Tank, but for energy startups. And Friday, we're going to hear a keynote from Paul Browning, CEO of Continuum Renewables, followed by the Tepper Clean Tech Case Competition, all happening right here in this room. So the Scott Institute just celebrated its 10th anniversary last year, and there's been a lot to celebrate. For those of you who are new to the Scott Institute, we kind of serve as the epicenter of all things energy here at CMU. We have over 160 different faculty affiliates who conduct energy-related research. We have 15 energy fellows. These are our most dedicated energy faculty, essentially our energy rock stars, who we support because we want them to keep doing great things. We also have extremely smart students, many of which are in the room today and will be asking very fascinating questions during the Q&A sessions. So the Scott Institute acts as a launch pad for both faculty and students who want to develop their ideas and launch big initiatives. At the end of the day, our vision is focused on developing and demonstrating the technologies, the systems, the policies needed to accelerate the transition to a more sustainable energy future. And one big part of the Scott Institute's role here on campus, in the region and nationally over the past decade, is really to bring people together who are working on the world's most pressing energy problems today. And that is exactly what we aim to do with this year's Energy Week. So now, a bit about this year's focus, industrial decarbonization. Since I began speaking a minute or so ago, the global industrial sector emitted roughly 20,000 tons of carbon dioxide into our atmosphere. Just to give you all a sense of scale, that is more carbon dioxide than everyone in this room combined will emit just going about your lives over the next 10 years. Nationally, the industrial sector accounts for roughly 1/3 of all greenhouse gas emissions. But it also drives our economy. It builds the cars we drive. It builds the bikes we ride. It makes the cement for our buildings. It makes the oil that we use for our lawnmowers. And for tens of thousands of workers and their families, it puts food on the table. So the challenge of decarbonizing the industrial sector while minimizing the impacts on jobs, families, our livelihoods, that is exactly what we're going to be discussing all day today. And it's an important conversation to have, especially in this region. And we're honored to have representatives from industry, government, nonprofits, and other critical organizations here today to take part in this conversation. Here in the Scott Institute, there's a lot of internal energy forming around the topic of decarbonization. So over the coming months, we're going to be gathering faculty from all across campus in very specific areas to help us tackle these challenges and talk about how we can get something done. So think of us as your energy and decarbonization think tank and an eager partner in a broader network of thought leaders in the region, together with our universities, as well as other diverse organizations, many of which you'll be hearing from today. So today would not have happened without at least 4 sets of people, and I just want to recognize them real quick. First, a tremendous thank you to my colleagues and the Scott Institute staff and the volunteers for helping pull off what we hope to be an amazing event this week. Second, I'd like to thank all the speakers we hear from today. Each and every one of you was hand-selected for a very, very specific reason, and that is you hold a very deep set of knowledge around the topic of decarbonization. So we're excited to hear from you. Third, I'd like to thank our corporate sponsors. So on your table tent, on all the tables, lists all of our corporate sponsors. They make it possible to keep this event free and available to everyone. So your support to our corporate sponsors, it means everything to us, so thank you. And lastly, and certainly not least, I want to thank every single one of you in the room today. It is our sincere hope that something said today will inspire you to go out and do something good and meaningful and impactful to help advance our energy future. So with that, I'd like to invite Bill Sanders, Dean of CMU's College of Engineering, to offer his remarks and introduce our first keynote. Dr. Sanders is a professor of electrical and computer engineering, of computer science, and also in the Heinz College of Information Systems and Public Policy. He's a leader in engineering research and academia, a well-respected collaborator in higher education who builds public-private partnerships, and last but not least, he's one of the biggest supporters of the Scott Institute. So Bill, please take the stage.
Thank you very much, Daniel. It's so exciting to be here today and see so many of you here today. As you know, the Energy Week hosted by the Scott Energy Institute is something that's been going on for several years. But what is new this year is the focus on industrial decarbonization, and that's such an important topic. Thank you, Daniel, for that very gracious introduction. And I also like to particularly welcome all the students that are here today. You're really the future of what we're all talking about today. And as Daniel said, please ask those very important and probing questions. So we are delighted for you joining us today for Energy Week at Carnegie Mellon. This is a significant gathering to put a spotlight on the many facets and challenges facing our nation's energy agenda. As was said, this year's theme is industrial decarbonization. And as you'll see over the course of the day and the remainder of the week, the challenge of decarbonizing the industrial sector is an extremely important one and an extremely interdisciplinary one. For example, reducing or removing greenhouse gases from iron and steel and chemical manufacturing has large implications, not only on the environment, but to the energy grid, to state and national policy, and to jobs, families, communities, and quite frankly, our entire future. At Carnegie Mellon, we pride ourselves on tackling complex problems, which require us to champion ideas and overcome barriers to deliver a positive impact on the world around us. Tackling these really hard problems, the ones that intersect different areas and enmeshed in the areas of energy and the environment, are what we do best, especially when we extend our efforts to include external partners. The vexing energy issues before us today involve aspects of engineering, computer science, chemistry, public policy, business, and economics, just to name a few, actually, but it's really broad. Our culture here and our unique way of collaborating, which we call advanced collaboration, which is deeply native to sort of the history of CMU, enables us to lower the barriers to problem solving by bringing together many disciplines on campus and many of our partners, all of you today, to create and develop innovative routes to progress. Such possibilities fuel our desire to find ways to take care of the planet and its people today and for generations to come. No doubt this is why you've decided to join us here to explore these topics with us. Imagine the big ideas we can generate and the initiatives we can continue as we explore the possibilities during Energy Week. So we're really excited to have an amazing lineup of speakers, an amazing set of events, and other ways for you to interact together to stimulate your thoughts and discussion on these issues. So I want to, before I go on and introduce our keynote speaker this morning, I want to take the opportunity to recognize Daniel, the leadership of the Scott Energy Institute, the staff of the Scott Energy Institute, and really all those people that work so hard to make this happen today. They've been working on this for several months. I know it. They've been working very diligently on it. And my gosh, when I looked at the program, I said to Daniel this morning, one of the worst things about being a dean, and by the way, my research is in the energy areas, I have to go off to other meetings and I can't be here all the time. So I'll be in and out and come when I can, but it's a great program. Thank you. Let's have a round of applause for the organizers.